Okay, so hey guys, welcome back to another predictions video, and in today's video I'm going to be predicting the Vettori versus Cannonier fight. If you are new around here, then you haven't subscribed, please do so, like the video if you do like it, and let's get straight into it. So, going into this fight, Vettori is 19-6-1 with 2 KOs and 9 submissions, and Cannonier is 16-6 with 10 KOs and 2 submissions. This fight is a 5-round fight in the middleweight division. Vettori's last fight was a win via unanimous decision versus Dolidze, and Cannonier's last fight was a win via split decision versus Strickland. To be completely honest, they were both questionable wins, maybe one more than the other, but to be honest, both had aspects where they weren't especially convincing, and I'm sure that would encourage these to want to go out there and put a convincing performance on tonight or tomorrow night, I believe it is. It depends when you look seeing this. Vettori's UFC losses have come against Carlos Jr. in 2016, Adesanya in 2018, Adesanya in 2021, and Whittaker in 2022. Cannonier's UFC losses have come against Blachowicz in 2017, Reyes in 2018, Whittaker in 2020, and Adesanya in 2022. So all creditable names, to be completely honest, and all understandable as to why they did lose. They've always kind of, both of these fighters being around this top title level, it's just sometimes getting that kind of win that they need to get the title, and that's always kind of been stopped by Adesanya, to be completely honest, because of how dominant as a champion he has been. But that's why I like this matchup, and I'm surprised, to be honest, that they haven't fought earlier and that this fight hasn't already been made in the past, but obviously it hasn't. Cannonier, though, is 39 and Vettori is 29, so that 10-year age gap is always going to play a factor. And Cannonier, of course, fighting on the older side now, and obviously it doesn't affect every fighter, but he still looks in great shape, to be fair. But I think since the Adesanya loss, he's maybe not, like, in the Adesanya fight wasn't amazing, in the last fight wasn't amazing. I don't think he's been looking as sharp as maybe he once was. And I think, to be completely honest, he did get hurt at times against Strickland, so possibly there's aspects of maybe the chin going a little bit. Both fighters, of course, are wanting to get back to this title level. I think it would take a lot, to be completely honest, for Adesanya to fight either of these two fighters again. I think the Cannonier one, of course, would be more likely because of it only been happening once, and it was a relatively close fight, but I don't think he's going to want to do that because of it's not a massive fight for him. And Adesanya, I don't think he would fight Vettori again, like I said, unless it's a massive change or in his performances or anything like that. Vettori, though, as a fighter, he will go to war a lot of the time. He's got a high guard, good solid jab, counters well, heavy leg kicks, can fight off the front or the back foot, can pick shots well, has more, in my opinion, variation to his game than what Cannonier has. I think he's better on the ground than him and has, like I said, a bit more about him than what Cannonier maybe has. But I think in his last fight, the areas where he shined was his countering and was this solid jab and was the ability to fight off the back foot, pick the shots quite well, slip and moves at times, didn't do that overly, but he did land some clean shots where he was countering well, used the high guard to maybe invite a little bit of pressure and then strike. He isn't really a KO specialist, of course. The fact he's only got 2 is shows there. He's faced adversity. I think he's been hurt himself in fights and come back. He's shown he can be hurt, like I mentioned. He can seem just to cover up when under pressure. Maybe that is an aspect of playing possum to then be able to counter, but I think he's only recently really been putting in that kind of counter work and being able to do that as well, so I'm not entirely sure if that's the case. He can make fights closer than maybe they should be. He maybe gives off a couple of rounds when he could turn a little bit more, maybe push the pace a little bit more and do a bit more, but he doesn't, and he does maybe invite, like I say, invite the pressure and make it the other fighter gain confidence and gain momentum, which isn't something that you want to be doing. Cannonier's a fighter, though. He's a hard-hitting, patient fighter. He sets up his shots well, got a high guard, solid kicks, improves throughout the fight. He's ups the tempo when he wants to. When he starts going, he is an accurate fighter. He's composed, got a big right hand, fast hands, and I think that was the factor that managed to get him the win versus Strickland. The big right that he was constantly throwing with the fast hands, it was difficult for him to be able to, and the accuracy was definitely improving, and it was difficult for Strickland to be able to stop that, because I don't think Strickland's movement is good enough to be able to stop the speed of Cannonier. And like I said, come rounds 3, 4, 5, he's accurate and he's hitting the target, and like I said, he ups it when he wants, and so if he is gaining confidence, he is going to be landing these big shots and finding success with that, and it can be difficult to do. And if he is setting it up, then it's going to be difficult. And of course, these solid leg kicks as well, similar to Vettori's kicks, they're both going to be landing big blows, I'm sure, and it probably will end up in a war, this fight, to be completely honest. It just depends on Cannonier, what kind of tempo he wants to fight at, and it depends on if Vettori is wanting to fight up the front or the back foot or whatever. Really, there's a couple of factors there which might play a role. Cannonier, he isn't the best wrestler. He can give away rounds, similar to Vettori, makes fights close when they probably don't need to be. He has a low output, may need time to gauge range, somewhat predictable at times when he is setting up his shots. He's arguably questioned to be past his prime, and of course, like I mentioned, his chin might have been questioned a little bit now. Like I said, when he's got this low output and he is setting up these shots, because he is setting them up and he is being patient with them, it means he's probably going to be more predictable and be able to be seen what he's going to do more likely. And of course, the low output can mean that he is giving away the earlier rounds just because he isn't throwing as much as he probably could do, and it is just a fact of, if he can gauge the range earlier, throw a bit more, then he will find more success, and if he can find that range, be able to get more at the earlier rounds. Vettori is the favourite for this fight, and I think that Vettori will win via unanimous decision. I think, like I mentioned, it will probably be a war come the later rounds. In the earlier rounds, I think Vettori will end up picking him up. I think he's going to probably throw off the front foot. I'd like to see that. I think Vettori's best when he does that, and I think he's going to want to prove more of a point, in my opinion, and going to be able to get this unanimous decision. I don't think it'll be a stoppage. Like I said, I think Cannonier's chin's been mentioned and been questioned, but I think Vettori, like I said, isn't really a KO specialist, and don't think be able to get him out of there, but still be able to win. And then there's a couple options. Duplessis is an option if he beats Whittaker. I don't think he's going to fight Whittaker again. Vettori. Brunson's an option, or I think there's not many options left in the middleweight division for Vettori that he hasn't already fought. If he's just going to go back and fight other fighters that he's already fought, I don't know how much he's going to want to do that. So I think he could go up in weight, to be completely honest, and a fight which I'd like in the weight above would be Walker. I wouldn't mind that fight at all. He's, I believe, coming off a win, and that would be a fight that would be entertaining. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you did enjoy. Like if you didn't, like, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.